wasn't yours. I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back to who I was before. I like me better, I like me better.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I got a lot going on. What is new? I literally have to be ready to go by 2:30. It is 1:45. Also, my hair is still in the braids and I need to take the braids out by the end of this video. Yeah, I have to have all that out, but not by the end of this video, by the time that I leave my apartment. And I told you guys that I don't know what's going on with my face, but I'm putting makeup on for the first time in probably, I don't know, maybe like a week. Yeah, I think it might be like a week-ish. And I'm going like out, so I need my face to last all day. So we're gonna see how this comes together. I guess, like, get ready with me. Let's go. Of course, y'all know Danessa is my girl. I don't know if you guys remember, but like in a video not long ago, the Fenty primer, like, it broke. So even though there's still like a lot of product left in there, I literally cannot get it out and I'm not sure how to open it. So love that for me. I'm not sure what the second primer I'm gonna use is. Also, I just realized I definitely did not conceal my brows, but I literally just don't have time for it. So fingers crossed. That's something I was so y'all know I told you in a vlog not long ago, like when I get fixated on something, I just like have to see it through and I have to know like everything about it. So I was on TikTok and, you know, like I get true crime content on my timeline every now and then. And this case came up about Karen Reed. Mind you, when I saw it was from Boston, I was already like, but basically, so the case is she is on trial because they are alleging that she ran over her boyfriend with her car. Obviously he passed away, and so now they are trying her, you know, for like murder. I don't know if I can say that on here, but here's the thing. The conspiracy and also the defense that her lawyers are giving is that she's being framed. So here's what you need to know about the boyfriend. So the boyfriend was a police officer, and they went out to like a bar or whatnot, and they met up with some friends, and one of the friends invited them to go back to her sister-in-law's house. The sister-in-law's house is the house of a family of cops. So the boyfriend is a cop. The house that he went to is owned by, you know, a police officer. I don't know if the wife is also a police officer, but like the husband's a police officer. I believe like his brother is a police officer and another brother is some type of agent. Like they're all like law related, right? Mind you, I'm telling the story like I don't have 40 minutes to get ready, but basically what Karen is saying happened is that they went out to the bar, they ran into the sister-in-law. The sister-in-law was like, hey, come back to my brother's house. You know, we're having a little get together. Karen drops the boyfriend off at the house. She says, you know, she determines for some reason like she doesn't want to go inside. So when she determines that she doesn't want to go inside, she says the boyfriend goes inside. I don't know if he's like scooping the scene out to kind of see if he wants to stay there. And she's waiting for him outside. He comes back outside. He says he's going to stay. She's like, okay, cool. You know, I'll see you later. Like they live together. I'll see you later. And she leaves. And she says, you know, like that's what happened. She's like hours later, I think maybe like 4 a.m. she wakes up. And she realizes he never came home. So she starts calling. He's not answering. She's getting nervous. So she contacts the friend that had invited them over there, and she contacts another friend. She's like, let's go look for him because he never came home. Also, need to point out that it was snowstorming while this is going on. So there's a snowstorm going on. So they decide they're gonna go look for him. So she goes back to the last place that she dropped John off. And when they get there, she is now hysterical because John's body is there in the snow, and like he's got bruises. They said like his eyes were swollen. He's got bites on him. Keep this in mind. So, you know, like she's now hysterical, wants to find out like what happened to him, blah, 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 blah. So the state and all the other people involved, like all the other families involved, the homeowners, all of that, they are claiming that John never stepped foot in their house. Like even though he was invited there, and mind you, if you're listening to the testimony, like it's not denied that Karen's car pulled up because the sister-in-law that invited him to the house literally texted him and was like, park behind me. But they're alleging he never made it inside. So they are saying that somehow, even though the car pulled up to the driveway and, you know, like she did see him at one point, he never stepped foot inside, and Karen hit John with her car. And that is how he died. So they're saying like that's why she's being tried for his murder. What? You know when you hear some BS and you're just like, bro, please get out of my face. Because what? So you saw him, but he never ended up coming inside, but y'all didn't find him until allegedly 6 o'clock in the morning, but you had people at your house that were going in and out of your house and at some point left your house before 6 a.m. and none of them saw I think he's like 6'2". None of them saw a 6'2" man in the snow. So once I see this, now I'm going down, because there's a content creator on TikTok. Her name is like, I'm Not a Lawyer, but so she has like a whole playlist where she recaps the trial. Mind you, the trial I believe is live on Crime TV on YouTube. I didn't know about that channel until the Darrell Brooks case. No, 2022, I think it was 2022. And I would watch it like in person, but I literally just found out about it like right now. So I couldn't wait. I just went through her playlist. So I'm watching the testimony, and literally every person that they have questioned so far, like they get caught in mistruths. They get caught lying on the stand. And then like once they get caught, it's like, oh, well, I don't recall, right? So now they're all on the stand, and I'm talking from the paramedics to police to the friends that went with her to look for him. Now all of a sudden they're claiming that at the scene, once police arrive, all that stuff, that she's there and she's saying, oh, I hit him, I can't believe I hit him. Do you think he's dead? I hit him. They're all making sure that they say that they heard her say she hit him, right? Here's my thing. There's like dash cam footage of all this. They're playing the videos, all this. You never hear her say that. Like, as hysterical as they are making her out to be, you never hear this woman say, I hit him on the dashboard. Their body cams weren't working. All of that, right? Paramedics are saying, I heard her say that, even though one of them said they'd never heard her say that. So they asked these police officers, they asked these paramedics, all this stuff. Don't you think like that would be an important thing to write about in your report? Because, you know, these people have to write up reports after all of these incidents. None of you mentioned that. None of you, the EMT, none of you mentioned hearing her say, I hit him. And mind you, not even like saying like what she hit him with, because I hit him could have mean I hit him with my fist, I hit him with a bat, I hit him with my car. And they asked the EMTs like, don't you think you should have told the hospital? I heard her say I hit him with a vehicle, and that would have helped the hospital with how they administer care to him. Mind you, all of these people know each other. Like every time they get on the stand, it's like, do you know the homeowner? Yes. How do you know the homeowner? Oh, well, I've known them since I was a kid. But you know, like these small like suburban towns, like that's pretty normal that these people know each other, you know, for decades. They all work together. All of these people work in law enforcement, all of that, right? And like they're all telling the same stories that, oh, I heard her screaming, I hit him, right? So now we move into questioning the people that own the house, and the people that were there, right? So remember I said the people who own the house, like the man is a police officer, all of his siblings are like law enforcement, stuff like that. You know, while the police are outside attending to it, because they did try to give him like CPR, stuff like that, while he was outside. The girlfriend Karen, she's hysterical outside. You know, the homeowners never go outside. Never go outside. Also, like, you're law enforcement, so you didn't go outside before the police could get there, because remember, it was the girlfriend and her friends that found him outside in the snow. So like, knowing that law enforcement lives inside and law enforcement usually has some type of like measures of care that they could give people before EMTs get there, you don't go inside and get the homeowners to come outside and see if they can help this man that's in the snow in front of their house. So they start, you know, questioning the family, all that stuff, and all of them are sticking to he never came inside. They're you know, agreeing that they did see him out and about beforehand, and the sister-in-law who had invited him over, like she does, but also like you can't really deny that because they have the text messages of you saying like, hey, come in, pull in behind me, all that stuff, right? Oh. Forgot to mention, one of the things that they are using as evidence as to the fact that this is like a hit and run, like she hit him with her car type thing, is that her taillight is broken on her vehicle, right? So they're saying like, you know, the tail light broke on the vehicle from her hitting him. Again, I'm not exactly sure how all of this makes sense because she pulled into the driveway. So how could she have hit him to where her tail light is broken and it ended up on him landing all the way over there. I think they say like she literally would have had to have been driving like 25 miles per hour for the impact of her hitting him to make him land all the way where he did land. So they're talking about this taillight, and they mention the fact that her vehicle was taken to, what do they call that? Sallyport? Is that what they call it? Like at the, where they like, you know, inspect like larger evidence. Something, it's like a garage type thing, right? Where they're inspecting the car. And they admit that like they end up breaking the tail light even more than it was allegedly broken when the car was taken in there. And the cameras in there somehow are wiped for like 40 minutes. They don't know what happened to the footage of what happened when the car was in there. So while they're talking to all of the family and, you know, they're talking about everyone that was there, there is a nephew who was like very sketchy in this situation because like they're all trying to like minimize his involvement that night, right? Like when they're like, well, why didn't you mention the fact that the nephew was there? They're like, oh, well, he wasn't there long. Like, you know, because they were all out at the bar, they came home, he was there. And as they were entering the house, he was leaving the house. So they didn't really feel like it was important enough to mention the fact that he was there. Now, the nephew is important in this conversation because, you know, they're questioning him, the defense is questioning him, and he has like marks on his knuckles, like, you know, like defense wound marks. And they're asking him like, you know, like, how'd you get that? Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh, I fell. And to like catch my fall, I landed on my knuckles to catch it. So now they're trying to figure out how the cousin got home, right? So the cousin called another cousin to come and take him home. So, you know, I guess like these are like teenagers that, well, not teenagers, but like late teens, early 20s. So y'all might know about that whole like Life 360 thing. So like parents can keep track of where their kids are. So the cousin that came to get the cousin that was at the house, I guess like her parents have like a Life 360 thing that kind of like tracks everywhere that she goes, right? I'm not exactly sure how Life 60 tracks you, but it tracks you, right? So they question her and she is adamant that she picked him up, she dropped him off at home, and then she went home and she said like she like after she got home, she didn't go anywhere after that. And she was home by like 12:30, something like that, right? So they pull up the Life 360, and Life 360 says that, you know, you left your house. It shows that you took a trip that was like 7 miles, then you came back to your house, and then you left your house again, and then you take a trip that's like 12 miles. And then you come back to your house around like it's way after 1 a.m. right? And she's like, oh, I don't recall. So like she recalled some of the trips. She's like, yep, I did that. I went there. Yep, I did that. And then they're like, and then you took a trip for 12 miles. She's like, no, I don't. So Life 360 is only somewhat correct. It's not fully correct. But here's what gets me about the cousin that came to pick the cousin up. While she's testifying, she's like, I think they're asking her like, you know, like, why are there like so much inconsistency and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. She's like, well, it's hard to, you know, like keep up with all of this because her cousin, the nephew, is being accused of so much on social media. And, you know, because that's what social media is saying. Social media is saying that like the cousin, the nephew, and the nephew's like uncle, and like they're just saying the nephew and some of the other men in the house assaulted the police officer John, and then either threw him out while he was still alive and just left him there to, you know, or like they put him out and he was already, right? So that's what's being said about the nephew. And while she's testifying, she says, and it's hard because the nephew wasn't even at the house the same time that John was there. I thought y'all said John was never there. But she just said it's frustrating because he wasn't there at the same time that John was there, but y'all said John was never there. So here's where the testimony is starting to piss me off, because if there's one thing I hate a liar. And not only do I hate a liar, I hate a bad liar. Like, if you're gonna lie, at least make it convincing, right? So they call the sister-in-law that originally started all of this, the one who invited him and Karen to the sister's house, right? So they call her and her husband. They call her husband first. And one thing that stood out to me about the husband while he's testifying, so the husband, the wife, and the brother, because remember, it's the brother's house that the sister invited them to. Like, all of them, they're in a group chat with each other, right? And in the group chat, he says to them, oh, make sure you tell the news station that guy was never in the house. why would you need to like instruct everyone else to make sure that they know, right? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, if I knew that John was never in the house, like, I don't need you to tell me to make sure I know he was never in the house. I'm just gonna say, like, he was never here, you know? Like, why do you need to tell them that? But, and also, like, he kept smirking, and it's like, there's nothing funny about this situation. But anyway, so they call the wife to the stand, and you know, the whole, like, we already know the whole, like, passive aggressive Karen, like that, that's literally what she, mind you. And what always gets me when you watch like court cases like this is when people are lying. I don't know if you guys remember that girl here in Georgia. She like decided to become, you know, top flight security because she saw a hit and run, and then she like chased down the man that got into the hit and run, and she ends up shooting him. I don't know if you guys remember that case, but like one thing that pisses me off, and it's also like usually a tell sign of people who are lying, is they will be sweet as pie while being questioned by the state, right? And also that like little sweet innocent victim, you know, just like them, and you know, I just But as soon as the defense starts talking to them, and as soon as like the defense starts poking holes in the story and poking holes in things that they literally said out of their own mouth, they become the biggest passive aggressive, nastiest, nice, nasty type. And I like, that's always telling. It's usually always telling. So here's my biggest takeaway about the sister-in-law's testimony, and then I really gotta like wrap it up and go finish my face because I got like 20 minutes left, right? But I mean, I'm making progress. So remember, the whole story by the family and the friends and everyone that was there is that, you know, they didn't find his body until like the early AMs, 5, 6 a.m. after she called to go look for him because they didn't know where he was, right? So she claims, you know, the friend that went with her to go look for his for where he was, she claims that after they got there, she's so hysterical, she's emotional, she keeps saying, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. They ask her, when you testify in front of the grand jury, like, why didn't you say that beforehand? And she's like, well, I don't remember what I said. Do you want me to read the whole 200, you know, page document of what I said? And he's like, but you remember it so vividly now, so I'm asking, like, you don't remember that you didn't say that beforehand? But anyway, that's not the biggest takeaway of this, right? She is claiming that Karen is so hysterical, and you know, she's like too hysterical to do anything. So she says Karen told her to Google how long does it take to Google hypothermia and how long does it take to die in the cold. So she Googled, and mind you, she doesn't spell it correctly. She spelled something like how's long to die in the cold. That's what she Googled, right? At 6 something in the morning. And they're asking questions about, like, she's like, yeah, you know, like, she wanted to know the answer. She just wanted to know, like, you know, what possible outcomes could happen. Like, would he be okay? Is there a possibility that he could get to the hospital? Blah, 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 right? And she is adamant that Karen made her Google that. She's like, I Googled it from your client asking me to do it. All I know is I Googled it from your client asking me to do it. So the defense attorney goes, if all this is happening at 6 a.m. and you did it off my client directing you to do it, then why does Google show that you Googled it at 2 a.m.? The first Google search for how long does it take to die in the cold was done at 2 a.m. At this point, like, you haven't even claimed that Karen called you to say that she couldn't find John. So why would you be Googling that at 2 a.m.? Mind you, she did also search it at like 6 something o'clock in the morning, right? So, you know, I guess smart enough to, you know, make sure she did the search again at 6 something in the morning. But it's like, now you got to explain why you searched for it twice, and like why you searched for it at a time where she wouldn't have been at the house. And again, like, y'all claim like he was never there, all that stuff, right? So she's like, oh, so she admits that she made the search at 6 something o'clock in the morning, but she denies that she made the search at 2 a.m. She's like, oh, the narrative that you're trying to prove isn't true. What you mean? Like, that's what I don't, y'all agree to the evidence that is in your favor, even if it is the same evidence that is not in your favor. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, someone can look at evidence and it's like, yeah, the part that makes it good for me, that part of the evidence is true. But the part of the evidence that makes it look bad for me, that's not true, even though it's on the same document. Like, baby, what? Either Google is completely wrong about the searches or they are completely right about the searches. There's no like ifs, ands, or buts, right? So of course she's trying to explain all of that, right? Okay, all I gotta do is my lip and put lashes on. So I'm going to try to quickly take my hair out. I got like 10 minutes. But yeah, so that was day 16 that I left off on. And then, you know, I had to start getting ready to go out. At least at the time of me seeing it right now, like they were on day 19 of trial, but today is a weekday, so they're probably going to continue, and I'm going out, so I won't be able to watch it, but I will definitely pick up watching it once did I not cut the string from the, I will definitely pick up watching once I get back, because like cases like that really just piss me off. And it's so crazy to me how easily people will like throw someone under the bus just to save themselves, and it happens like way more than it's talked about. Like, y'all don't feel bad at all about doing that to that lady. It's like, it's not bad enough that her significant other passed away. She's now being framed, allegedly, for it. And my thing is, like, the man who died was a police officer. You mean to tell me, especially since we know how police officers ride for each other, that the case would have been handled this sloppily? Mind you, the lieutenant that testified, stuff like that, they were like, they didn't like search the inside of the house. And when he was asked why, he was like, oh, well, we didn't have a search warrant and there wasn't enough probable cause. There's a body in the front yard of the house. That's not enough probable cause. And his like Apple Watch pinged going upstairs at a time that they claimed pinged at the house. And I guess, you know, like Apple Watch, it controls like steps and stuff like that. It shows at some point, you know, after Karen said that she left and before she made it back to the house, that his Apple Watch was going up steps. It's a 3-story house. Also, speaking of the house, they sold the house after this situation happened. I remember I said that he had like bites on him. They have a dog. The dog was rehomed after this situation. Baby, you're not gonna piss on my leg and tell me it's raining, okay? You're not gonna do it. Y'all, do you think I could get away with just unraveling like that much of my hair and like leaving the side braids out? Cause like I really don't wanna do all of this. And I feel like, you know, it could be cute, but also I don't know how it looks in the back. Do it look crazy in the back? You're not gonna be able to answer me, but I could check the footage. Oh, I also forgot to mention, I really do have to go put my lashes on and my pants. But before I do, so actually I didn't leave off on the sister-in-law that invited them to the house. I left off on another like federal agent that he is another one that like they didn't initially want to admit the fact that he was there that night. And I just feel like anyone that they didn't want, or they like kind of tiptoed around admitting they were there that night, there's a reason. But he's like a federal agent. He was there that night, right? And during his testimony, it comes out that he was exchanging flirty type text messages with Karen. So he is a federal agent who was there that night, and he was exchanging flirty type text messages with the girlfriend of the police officer who is now deceased, and they are now claiming is the one that killed him. All right, y'all, so that is it for my face. Look at my skin, please. But thank you guys for, I guess, getting ready with me and listening to me ramble, because like I don't be having no one else to talk about this stuff with. So let me know if you guys are following this case and let me know your thoughts. I'm gonna go put my pants on and then I'm going to head out. Bye.